Listen carefully, because what I'm about to share with you matters more than you realize. This isn't some random video that the algorithm pushed your way in a universe constructed from frequency and resonance. Nothing arrives by chance. You found this now not because of curiosity or coincidence. Your energy field, the invisible transmission of who you're evolving into, magnetized this moment to you. Perhaps you haven't found the language for what you've been seeking, but something inside you recognizes it. You need confirmation that what you're experiencing isn't a delusion. Something has shifted within you recently. Experiences occur that defy logic, that can't be explained to the people in your life. When your mind drifts toward what's coming, it feels so tangible you could reach out and touch it, yet the material world shows no evidence of its existence. You perceive where you're headed. You can sense the version of you who's already living it. But then you return to consensus reality, to what your eyes report, and that destination appears impossibly distant. The tension between your inner knowing and your outer circumstances is creating despair. The weight keeps building. Certain mornings you rise feeling electric and aligned, absolutely certain your transformation is imminent. You're operating from such an elevated state that limitation feels impossible. Then, without warning, another day arrives. You wake up feeling like you've been carrying boulders uphill just to maintain your current position. Everything feels dense, uncertain, exhausting. The doubts creep in. Maybe I'm delusional. What if the rules don't apply to me? What if I'm fooling myself? Let me tell you why this transmission located you at this precise moment. You're currently navigating the most crucial and disorienting phase of conscious evolution. You're existing in the quantum liminal space. This invisible threshold separates those who merely fantasize from those who actualize their vision, though this space holds sacred potential. It registers as terrifying because it's where your former reality is dissolving while your emerging reality hasn't yet solidified. You're literally straddling two dimensions. This message only reaches people standing at this exact threshold. Once you complete the crossing, you won't require this validation because you'll be embodying it. Right now, though, you need to understand the mechanics of what's happening so you don't abandon the process moments before the breakthrough crystallizes. Let's decode what's actually occurring in your field. You're not simply anticipating better circumstances. You're simultaneously inhabiting two distinct reality streams. Quantum mechanics describes something called superposition, where a particle exists in multiple states simultaneously until observation collapses it into one reality. My friend, you're in a spiritual superposition state right now. There's the physical reality your senses perceive. This is the 3D construct with its financial pressures, unfulfilling work situations, relationships that feel misaligned, obstacles, and density. This dimension is solid, resistant, heavy. It's built from everything you've been until now. It's an echo of previous frequencies and belief structures. Then there's the truth you hold in your energetic body. This is quantum reality. Here, the transformation is already complete. The confident, abundant, beloved, liberated version of you exists right now, just broadcasting on a different frequency. You feel this version. During moments of stillness or inspiration, you temporarily become them. You adopt their perspective and consciousness. You know they're real because you've touched their energetic signature. The exhaustion you're experiencing isn't evidence of failure. Why? Because you're attempting to anchor both of these truths simultaneously in your physical system. You're stretched between who you've been and who you're becoming. If you're feeling this energetic stretch right now and it resonates deeply, simply type "resonating" in the comments. This isn't casual engagement. This is you observing your state without judgment. You're simply marking your coordinates in the field. This sense of disorientation has a name. It's called vibrational whiplash. One moment, you're resonating at the frequency of your future self. In this elevated state, you feel unstoppable, clear, decisive. You're fully aligned. Then suddenly, your historical self reasserts itself. It pulls you back into the familiar heavy frequency of your past identity. Instantly, you feel insufficient. The distance between your current position and your vision seems insurmountable. Here's what matters. This oscillation isn't a sign of malfunction. It's evidence of transformation in progress. It means your new frequency is gaining strength and competing with the old one for dominance. Nothing is wrong with you. You're recalibrating. Most of us absorb the belief that evolution follows a linear trajectory. We expect that today's effort should produce tomorrow's visible result. We anticipate a smooth, predictable ascent, where improvement is measurable and steady. But the universe doesn't function that way. It operates through quantum discontinuities. Authentic transformation is non-linear. It's messy. It manifests as sudden reversals into old fear patterns after making significant forward progress into your new identity. It looks like a massive leap of faith followed by weeks of feeling like you're wading through cement. While you're in this chaos, your rational mind is desperately trying to map the territory. It's scanning for patterns, trying to calculate when the instability will resolve. It craves certainty. It wants a specific date when everything finally stabilizes. But a linear mind cannot predict a quantum leap. You can only prepare your energetic system to receive it. At this stage, readiness doesn't manifest as adrenaline or blazing motivation. True readiness is quiet. It looks like showing up on the days when you feel completely hollow inside. It looks like maintaining your vision when the material world offers zero confirmation that it's approaching. It looks like choosing the more difficult path that offers no immediate reward when nobody's watching. Without realizing it, you've been doing this work. You've been so focused on the gap and how far you still need to travel that you haven't acknowledged the immense effort required just to remain in the game. Your fatigue is proof of the work you're doing. You're simultaneously carrying the weight of your dying identity while birthing a new one. Of course, you're exhausted. Feeling tired is valid, but don't interpret exhaustion as weakness. The capacity to hold two worlds simultaneously is power. Let's talk honestly about that internal voice. You know the one. It typically emerges when you're alone in the darkness or in those vulnerable moments right after waking when your defenses are down. It murmurs things like, "Is this actually going to happen for you? Who do you think you are? Maybe you should accept reality and quit." It sounds like logic. It sounds like self-preservation. But quantum theory reveals that voice is simply old programming. That message originates from your historical survival self, who maintained your safety by keeping you confined. It's just testing whether you're still committed to this upgrade. Consider this. If you weren't genuinely ready for this next level, you would have abandoned this path long ago. If this were merely a fantasy or temporary obsession, the discomfort of the liminal space would have ejected you by now. You would have rationalized a retreat back to what's familiar and convinced yourself it was the wise choice. But you didn't. You're still present. You're still watching this. You remain committed even though you can't see the timeline or guarantee the outcome. Do you comprehend how powerful that is? That persistent question, when will my breakthrough arrive, is actually disguised faith. Despite how chaotic, painful, and frustrating it feels, it's still faith. You wouldn't be frustrated about timing if you genuinely believed you weren't moving toward your goal. You wouldn't feel impatient if you truly doubted its possibility. You'd simply be indifferent. Your frustration proves that you know. You know you're designed for more than what you're currently experiencing. You're just wishing time would accelerate to match your inner knowing. The most intelligent, fulfilled, and successful individuals rarely speak about this, but they all traversed this vibrational void. They all sat exactly where you're sitting now in their consciousness. They could perceive their destination, but their present circumstances were chaotic. They all entertained the same thoughts you do. Maybe I'm the exception to the rule. For whatever reason, this manifestation process doesn't function for me. I'm either too damaged, too late, or too cursed. They felt invisible. They believed the universe had overlooked them. Yet they persisted. They didn't stay because they felt certain. These individuals continued because they refused to let their doubts dictate their actions, even while experiencing the fear and gravity of their old reality. They continued taking actions aligned with their new frequency. That's the only distinction between you and someone who has manifested their vision. They've emerged from the liminal space. You're still navigating through it. As long as you maintain forward momentum, you'll reach your destination. It's a law of physics. In the physical universe, a frequency inevitably attracts its match. No exceptions. You will arrive there. The only variable is when you can stabilize the new frequency long enough to witness it materialize. You're exhausted by empty encouragement. You don't need another platitude telling you to simply persist. You need practical tools, a new framework for measuring reality that doesn't depend on your physical senses, which are fundamentally unreliable for tracking quantum shifts. We measure progress in the material world through tangible markers like bank balances, numbers on scales, or text messages we receive. But in the quantum field, these aren't progress indicators. They're rear-view mirrors. They can only reveal your trajectory, not your current energetic state. They only display where you've already been. We need a new paradigm for navigating the liminal space. Your emotions can no longer serve as your progress metrics. Emotions are biochemical. They're connected to your historical identity through neural pathways. They fluctuate based on your nutrition, sleep quality, or a hostile comment from a stranger. Your feelings provide information, but they're not reliable truth about your trajectory. Judge your progress exclusively through quantum observation, which means evaluating your energetic actions, not your emotional states during those actions. Did you take action today, even though your old self screamed at you to stay paralyzed? You witnessed your resistance and chose action anyway, even if it was imperfect, or you only completed a fraction of what you intended. That's a massive energetic victory. That's progress. Did you execute one small action aligned with your future self, despite zero evidence of change in your present circumstances? Perhaps you meditated for 5 minutes during a period when you felt overwhelmed. Maybe you chose nourishing food when you craved comfort. You converted a wave of potential into a particle of reality. That's progress. Did you refuse to quit today? Did you wake up saturated with doubt and heaviness, yet chose to continue on this path for one more day? That commitment is a powerful transmission in the quantum field. It broadcasts to everything. I'm still present. I'm still holding this new frequency. That's progress. The liminal phase can't be measured by social media milestones. It's measured by frequency stability. It's measured by making the quiet, unglamorous choice to keep moving forward when you can't see the path. This is what you've been doing. There's no reason to withhold self-acknowledgement just because it doesn't feel triumphant. Here's what matters. In quantum mechanics, the outcome responds to the observer's attention, not their emotional state. Are you prepared to stop fixating on your emotional fluctuations and start tracking your daily energetic choices? Type "focused" below to declare this shift. It transmits a potent signal to the quantum field that you're reclaiming authority over your observation. This phase might appear completely different after this metaphor. Imagine you're lost in a vast, dense forest. This forest represents the quantum field of infinite possibility, but in this moment, it registers as the unknown. There's no map, no GPS, no visible trail ahead of you. All you can think about is finding the exit, reaching the clearing where your new life exists. You have two options. You can remain where you are. Initially, that might feel safer. You could settle under a familiar tree in your old comfort zone. You could tell yourself, at least this spot is known. At least I won't get more lost. But deep in your soul, you know that staying motionless in this forest means spiritual death. You'll die slowly, forever wondering what existed beyond these trees. Or you can move. You take a step in whatever direction your intuition, your future self's quiet guidance suggests feels correct. After 2 days of walking, you might discover you chose the wrong direction. You might reach a dead end or circle back to your starting point. Watch how your old self will erupt. See? I told you this was pointless. You're wasting energy. You're worse off than before. But are you? From a quantum perspective, you're not worse off. You now have definitive knowledge that one pathway isn't the exit. You've eliminated an incorrect probability. You've gathered intelligence. Though it feels like regression, you're actually more informed and closer to the breakthrough than when you were sitting paralyzed. This is your current position. You're navigating through the forest of your becoming. Sometimes it feels like you're circling back to old patterns you believed you'd healed. Sometimes it feels like you're hacking through impenetrable undergrowth with no clearing in sight. But here's the truth. You're not lost. You're pathfinding. You're developing spiritual muscle in your capacity to trust and discern. Every step you take, even the seemingly wrong ones, narrows the possibilities and accelerates your inevitable breakthrough. Eventually, you'll reach the tree line. You will emerge into that clearing. When you look back at the forest, you'll realize it wasn't punishing you. It was training you. It taught you how to be the kind of person who can thrive in the wilderness and handle the clearing. Most people misunderstand the liminal phase. They think it's just the annoying waiting period between before and after. When real life begins, they view success as the destination and this part as the obstacle to endure. But from the quantum perspective, this phase is the success. This is where the actual magic occurs. This work, this doubt, this daily choice to trust what you cannot yet perceive is the most profound spiritual work you'll ever undertake. Once you possess everything you desire, money, love, health, recognition, you'll face new challenges. You'll encounter new pressures and new versions of the liminal space. Success doesn't eliminate uncertainty. It simply elevates your problems to a higher frequency. Postponing happiness until you feel successful keeps you locked in a scarcity frequency to the quantum field. You continuously broadcast the signal, "I haven't arrived yet." and the field mirrors that back to you as more not yet. Even with all its frustration and confusion, this present moment holds sacred value for your soul. This is you in the depths. This is the season that forges your character and defines who you'll become for the remainder of your existence. Paradoxically, you'll miss these days when you reflect on them later. You'll remember the hunger, the determination, the fact that all you had to grasp was your faith. That raw, unfiltered hunger is a potent force. Don't squander it by wishing you were already satisfied. If you want to maintain this elevated vibrational state of consciousness, click subscribe right now. Don't think of it as simply following another channel. As you tune your quantum receiver, you're ensuring you don't miss the next transmission that will anchor you when the external world attempts to pull you back down. You're looking for a sign. We all are. A miraculous confirmation, an unexpected windfall, or a perfectly timed phone call to verify we haven't made a catastrophic mistake. But you're searching externally for something that's already happening internally. The sign isn't outside. You are the sign. The sign is your continued presence here, listening to this transmission. Despite overwhelming evidence suggesting otherwise, the fact that you possess this inextinguishable ember of hope is your confirmation. The universe doesn't waste energy awakening people who aren't meant for the journey. If this weren't your destiny, you'd be unconscious to it, you wouldn't care. When these words strike something deep in your heart, and you think, yes, this describes me, that's your soul recognizing the truth of its own path. That resonance is the quantum field validating your coordinates. You're receiving the correct frequency. Right now, you're just in the loading phase while the new reality renders. Your breakthrough won't arrive when you feel ready. You've been preparing for it this entire time. Therefore, it will manifest. It's intensifying beneath the surface in the quantum realm, where all creation begins, invisible to physical perception. You simply haven't witnessed the physical materialization yet. But like a seed buried deep in dark soil, tremendous growth is occurring before a single green sprout emerges into daylight. You needed to feel lost to discover your authentic North Star, not someone else's borrowed map. You needed to traverse the liminal space to become strong enough to handle the life you're creating. The future you, living that dream existence, wouldn't be possible without the courageous current you walking through this dark forest to find them. Before we take the final step together, one last trap of the liminal space needs addressing. Excessive observation. Quantum physics includes a principle called the quantum Zeno effect. The fundamental concept states that observing a system too frequently can actually prevent it from evolving. Constant checking to see if it has changed inhibits the change itself. This is precisely what you're doing to your own manifestation. You check your bank account 10 times daily, hoping to see increase. You refresh your inbox every 5 minutes. You constantly examine your relationships, searching for signs of improvement. This behavior stems from fear. It's hypervigilance, and your energy is transmitting to the universe. I don't trust this is happening. When you continuously search for evidence of your desire's arrival, you're actually amplifying its absence. Each time you check, you're collapsing the timeline of lack into your physical reality because you're repeatedly observing what's missing. The seed you just planted doesn't need to be unearthed daily to verify root development. You need to trust the darkness. You need to have faith in the invisible processes, even when nothing appears to be happening. You need to develop detachment from the breakthrough timeline. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't require evidence today to trust it's approaching. You need to release your addiction to constant feedback from your physical reality. The breakthrough requires this leap, and it's frightening. Type "releasing" in the comments if you're ready to stop excavating the seed and trust the dark. Let that single word settle your nervous system and allow you to exhale deeply. So how do we interrupt this cycle of anxious anticipation? We establish a new declaration. Right now, I want you to do something that appears insignificant, but carries massive weight in the quantum field. I need you to leave a specific comment below, for yourself, not for engagement metrics. Your struggles and visions remain just mental constructs if you keep them locked inside your skull. They remain as electrical impulses in your brain. When you speak them aloud, write them down, or make them official, you transform a wave of possibility into a particle of reality. You're making it concrete in the physical dimension. Those of you reading this are recognizing that your exhaustion signifies transformation. If this message found you, please leave 3 words in the comments: "I am still walking." That's all. You don't need to share your entire story if you're not ready. You don't need to justify why it's taking time. Just those 3 words. This phrase, "I am still walking," is the most potent declaration of faith possible. Saying "I have arrived" might feel like a fabrication. "I am lost" positions you as a victim. But this phrase does neither. It simply states that you're choosing to take another step. Despite the fog, the doubt, and the gravitational pull of your old identity. When you write that declaration, you disrupt your old programming. You claim ownership of the observer effect. There's another reason I want you to witness those comments. In physics, quantum entanglement describes how particles that have interacted, remain connected, and instantly influence each other across any distance. Throughout this journey, you felt isolated. Most people inhabiting the liminal space are either unconscious, content with mediocrity, or too afraid to leave the familiar forest. This makes it a notoriously solitary experience. If you're the only person in your immediate environment attempting to elevate your reality, your old surroundings will constantly attempt to drag you back down to their baseline frequency. However, when you scroll through the comments and see hundreds or thousands of other people writing, "I am still walking," something profound occurs. You become aware that you're connected to a collective of people you've never met, but whose energetic signature is identical to yours. You're not delusional. Others are in the forest with you. We're all part of the same vast, silent tribe, all trusting the same invisible future. You can amplify your own signal by connecting with that collective energy, even if it's just through reading others' words. When your personal faith depletes, you borrow theirs. We're holding the frequency for each other. Please share this message with anyone you know who's navigating the liminal space right now. This creates resonance in quantum physics. By helping them stabilize their frequency, you automatically strengthen your own. When we rise collectively, we rise exponentially faster. Look at this gap that's consuming your thoughts, the space between your current position and your desired destination. It feels enormous. It feels like miles of treacherous terrain. But I want to offer you a different lens. There is no space or time separating them. It's simply a difference in frequency. It doesn't require 10 years to close. It requires one moment of complete coherence. One moment when your heart, your mind, and your actions are perfectly synchronized with your future self. That's how quantum leaps occur. Now, what we're exploring today is the foundation, the essential understanding you need to navigate the quantum in-between. But this is just one layer of a much deeper system. If you're feeling the pull to go further, to understand the complete architecture of how consciousness shapes reality. I've mapped out the entire journey in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery. It takes you through the 9 master frequencies, from breaking free of survival static to living as the field itself, with practices to embody each transmission. It's linked in the pinned comment below. Have you ever witnessed someone transform their entire existence in a month? They secure the dream opportunity, meet their soulmate, and heal from a chronic condition all simultaneously. From the outside, it appears like luck. But here's what actually happened. They finally stopped oscillating. They achieved frequency stabilization, and the gap simply collapsed. The 2 worlds merged. You're closer to merging than you realize. Your doubt distorts your perception, making the gap appear larger than it actually is, but that's just perspective. The darkest moment is always right before dawn. The moment you most want to surrender is precisely when your old self is dying most intensely. It's fighting desperately because it knows its dissolution is imminent. You've already transformed significantly. Consider who you were 1 year ago or 5 years ago. Would that version of you have comprehended this video? Probably not. They would have dismissed it as absurd and clicked away. Yet you're still present. That proves your resonance has already shifted. You're already different. You haven't recognized it yet, because you're fixated on what appears unchanged. Now let me share something that will shift how you perceive time itself during this liminal phase. In quantum physics, time doesn't function the way we experience it in the 3D world linear time. The construct that says Monday follows Sunday and today precedes tomorrow is actually just one perspective. In the quantum field, all moments exist simultaneously. Past, present, and future are happening now. What we call the future is actually a frequency that already exists. You're not waiting for it to arrive. You're tuning into it. This changes everything about your current experience. When you feel impatient, when you wonder how much longer, you're operating from the illusion that your breakthrough exists somewhere ahead of you on a timeline. But it doesn't. Your breakthrough exists right now on a different frequency channel. Think of it like radio stations. All the stations are broadcasting simultaneously. You're not waiting for the jazz station to start playing. It's already playing. You're just tuned to the new station right now. The moment you match the frequency, you hear the jazz instantly. So when you ask, "When will my reality shift?" you're asking the wrong question. The real question is, when will I stabilize at the frequency where that reality is already happening? And that answer is entirely within your control, not through force, not through desperate effort, but through frequency alignment. Here's where most people get stuck, and why I need you to really hear this next part. You cannot force frequency alignment. You cannot muscle your way into a new reality. Trying to force manifestation is like trying to force yourself to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become. The more desperately you reach for it, the more you're broadcasting the frequency of "I don't have it," which perpetuates not having it. This is the paradox of the liminal space. You need to care deeply about your vision while simultaneously releasing attachment to when and how it arrives. You need to hold your desire with open hands, not clenched fists. Clenched fists communicate fear, scarcity, desperation. Open hands communicate trust, abundance, readiness to receive. Take a moment and share in the comments what you're learning to hold with open hands right now. What are you releasing attachment to while still honoring the vision? Let me give you a practical framework for this. There's a concept in quantum physics called the uncertainty principle, which states that you cannot simultaneously know both the exact position and exact momentum of a particle. The more precisely you know one, the less precisely you can know the other. This applies to your manifestation journey in a profound way. The more rigidly you define exactly how and when your breakthrough must occur, the more you interfere with the quantum field's ability to deliver it in the way that serves you best. The universe often has a far more elegant, synchronistic, miraculous delivery system than your logical mind can conceive. But if you're clutching onto a very specific image of how it must unfold, you might miss the actual doorway when it appears, because it doesn't match your mental picture. Maybe you've been visualizing your breakthrough arriving as a specific job offer, but the universe is trying to deliver it through an unexpected conversation that leads to something even better. Maybe you've been focused on a particular relationship, but the universe is clearing that space so someone more aligned can enter. This is why flexibility within certainty is so crucial. Be absolutely certain about the essence of what you're creating, the feeling, the energy, the quality of the experience. But stay flexible about the form. Stay open to being surprised by how it manifests. This is the difference between trying to control reality and co-creating with it. Now let's talk about something nobody discusses because it's uncomfortable, but it's absolutely essential for you to understand. As you elevate your frequency, as you stabilize in this new reality, you will encounter resistance not just from within yourself, but from your environment. This isn't punishment. This isn't the universe testing you. It's physics. Every system seeks equilibrium. Your family system, your social circle, your workplace, all of these have established an energetic baseline they've calibrated to who you've been. When you start changing, when you start vibrating at a different frequency, these systems experience that as disruption. They will unconsciously attempt to restore equilibrium by pulling you back to your old frequency. This shows up in subtle ways. Suddenly, people who never had opinions about your choices start offering unsolicited advice about why you should be more realistic. Family members who've never questioned your decisions suddenly express concern that you're changing too much. Friends who used to support your dreams start making jokes that undermine your vision. These aren't attacks. They're equilibrium-seeking behaviors. Understanding this removes the emotional charge. You don't need to fight them or convince them or cut everyone off. You simply need to recognize what's happening and not allow their frequency to destabilize yours. This is where your sovereignty becomes everything. You get to honor their perspective while choosing not to absorb their frequency. You get to love them while continuing to walk your path. There's also an internal version of this that's even more subtle. As you approach your breakthrough, your subconscious mind will often create what appears to be a crisis or emergency that demands your attention and pulls you back into old survival patterns. Suddenly, there's drama that needs your energy. Suddenly, there's a problem that seems urgent. This isn't coincidence. This is your old identity making one final attempt to maintain control. The key is recognizing these last-ditch efforts for what they are. Not emergencies, not signs that you're going the wrong way, but actually confirmation that you're getting so close that your old identity is panicking. When you can observe this pattern without getting hooked by it, you're demonstrating mastery. You're showing the quantum field that you're ready for the new reality. Let me share something that might feel counterintuitive but is profoundly powerful. The liminal space you're in, this uncomfortable in-between, is actually a privilege. Most people never enter it because they never commit deeply enough to a vision to experience the gap between where they are and where they're going. They either stay in their comfort zone, never dreaming beyond their current circumstances, or they fantasize about different lives, but never take action. So they never experience the tension of the middle. You're feeling this tension because you're actually doing the work. You're not just daydreaming. You're actively holding a frequency that's different from your current 3D reality that takes enormous energy, that takes courage, that takes faith. The fact that you're exhausted is evidence that you're engaged in the real work of transformation. This isn't passive. This isn't theoretical. You're in the fire right now. And here's what the fire is doing. It's burning away everything that isn't aligned with your new frequency. Every old belief that says you're not worthy, every historical identity pattern that kept you small, every fear-based program running in your subconscious. The fire isn't destroying you, it's purifying you. It's clearing the channel so the new frequency can flow through you without obstruction. This is why the liminal space often feels like everything is falling apart. Because it is. Everything that was built on false foundations is collapsing. Everything that was sustained by old frequency is dissolving. And yes, that's uncomfortable. Yes, that's scary. Because you can see what's dissolving, but you can't yet see clearly what's being built. You're in demolition phase, and it feels chaotic because it is chaotic. But demolition always precedes construction. You cannot build a new structure on a faulty foundation. The old has to be cleared first. So when it feels like everything is crumbling, remind yourself that you're not losing yourself. You're finding yourself. You're excavating down to the bedrock of who you actually are, beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the programs, beneath all the false identities you constructed to survive in a reality you've now outgrown. There's something else happening in the liminal space that's incredibly important, and most people miss it entirely. You're developing capacities you didn't have before. Every day you choose to stay on this path despite zero external validation, you're strengthening your faith muscle. Every day you take aligned action despite feeling doubt, you're strengthening your courage muscle. Every day you hold your vision while your 3D reality shows you something different. You're strengthening your manifestation muscle. These capacities cannot be developed in comfort. They can only be forged in the fire of the liminal space. Think about it. If everything manifested instantly, you would never develop the ability to hold vision across time. You would never develop trust. You would never develop the depth of commitment that makes you unshakable once you arrive in your new reality. The person who steps into the life you're creating needs to be someone who can handle that reality. If you manifested everything you desire right now, with your current level of consciousness, it wouldn't be sustainable. You might self-sabotage. You might not know how to navigate the challenges that come with that level of success. The liminal space is growing you into the person who can not only receive that reality, but thrive in it. This is the universe's wisdom that your logical mind cannot grasp. You think you're ready now, but the universe knows you're being prepared. Every challenge you face in this in-between space is developing a capacity you'll need on the other side. The frustration is teaching you patience. The doubt is teaching you faith. The waiting is teaching you trust. The isolation is teaching you self-reliance. The uncertainty is teaching you surrender. You're not being delayed. You're being developed. And once you truly grasp this, once you shift from why is this taking so long to what is this experience teaching me, everything changes. You stop resisting the process. You stop fighting the timeline. You start extracting the wisdom from each moment. You start collaborating with the liminal space instead of battling against it. Here's a practice that will help you anchor this understanding. Every evening before sleep, instead of reviewing what didn't happen yet, review what capacity you strengthened today. Did you feel doubt but take action anyway? You strengthened courage. Did you feel lonely but stay committed to your path? You strengthened sovereignty. Did you feel tired but show up for your vision? You strengthened discipline. Start acknowledging these invisible victories. Start celebrating your character development, not just external achievements. Because here's the truth that will set you free. Your breakthrough has already happened in the quantum field. It's done. It's complete. The version of you living that reality already exists. The only thing being built right now is the bridge between your current frequency and that frequency. And that bridge is made of all these capacities you're developing every day in the liminal space. You're constructing another section of that bridge. One day, without you even realizing it, you'll notice you're on the other side. Not because of one dramatic moment, though those can happen, but because you quietly became someone who naturally operates at that frequency. The outer world will shift to match your inner world because that's the law. Frequency always manifests as form. Always. No exceptions. So when you're tempted to despair, when you're wondering if any of this is real, remember that you're not waiting for something to happen. You're becoming someone who happens. You're not hoping for change. You're embodying the change. You're not seeking a breakthrough. You're becoming the breakthrough. So how do you maintain sanity in the liminal space? You begin witnessing your experience. When doubt surfaces, and it will, don't battle it. Don't criticize yourself for having it. Simply observe it. I noticed the old program is running today. Tell yourself it's frightened. That's okay. It might be scared, but I'm still moving forward. When exhaustion hits, don't interpret that as failure. My physical system is tired from integrating this new energy. I'm going to rest, but I'm not abandoning the path. When you observe your struggles rather than identifying with them, you create space between yourself and the emotion. In that space, free will exists. You can choose your next action from your new self's wisdom, not your old self's fear. In that space, you no longer require perfect conditions to advance. You no longer need constant external validation that you're on the correct path. You construct an internal guidance system that remains unshakable because it receives intelligence from beyond the physical world. Let's go deeper into what it means to truly embody your future self right now, because this is where the real magic happens. Most people approach manifestation from a place of lack. They focus on what they don't have, what hasn't arrived yet, what's missing from their current reality. This keeps them locked in the frequency of absence. But embodiment is different. Embodiment means you start being the person who has already arrived, even while your external circumstances are still catching up. This doesn't mean pretending or denying your current reality. It means choosing which reality you're going to feed with your energy and attention. Your current circumstances are real, yes, but they're also just a reflection of your past frequency. They're old news, frozen data from who you were months or years ago. If you keep focusing on them, if you keep reacting to them, you keep recreating them. But when you start embodying your future frequency now, when you start making choices from that elevated state even before you see evidence, you're sending a completely different signal to the quantum field. You're saying, "This is who I am now, and the field must respond to that declaration. It has no choice. That's the law. What does embodiment actually look like in practice? It's the choices you make when nobody's watching. It's treating yourself the way your future self would treat themselves. If your future self values their body, you start making choices that honor your body now. If your future self has healthy boundaries, you start setting boundaries now. If your future self speaks with confidence, you start practicing confident communication now. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but consistently. This is what people miss. They think they need to wait until they feel worthy before they act worthy. But it's the opposite. You act worthy, and the feeling follows. You embody the frequency, and the emotions catch up. You make the aligned choice, and your identity shifts to match it. This is how you close the gap, not by waiting for the gap to close, but by being on both sides of it simultaneously. There's a concept in quantum mechanics called tunneling, where a particle can pass through a barrier that classical physics says should be impossible to penetrate. The particle doesn't have enough energy to climb over the barrier, but it appears on the other side anyway. It tunnels through. This is happening for you right now. You don't need to accumulate enough worthiness, enough qualifications, enough credentials to climb over the barrier between your current reality and your desired reality. You can tunnel through by frequency alignment. When you embody the frequency of your future self, you quantum tunnel through all the logical steps that your mind thinks are necessary. This is why people have sudden breakthroughs that don't make rational sense. This is why someone who's been struggling for years suddenly gets the opportunity that changes everything. They didn't climb the ladder. They tunneled, they aligned their frequency, and reality reorganized around them. But here's what makes tunneling possible. You have to stop defining yourself by your past. Every time you reference who you were, every time you tell the story of your struggles, every time you identify with your historical limitations, you're anchoring yourself to that frequency. That old story isn't who you are, it's who you were. And even that's just one interpretation of events, not the ultimate truth. Your past is not a life sentence. It's not your identity. It's just data. It's information about patterns you ran when you had less awareness than you have now. Those patterns served you at the time. They kept you safe. They helped you navigate circumstances you didn't know how to handle otherwise. But you're not that person anymore. You've grown. You've expanded. You've awakened to new possibilities. You get to choose a new story now. This is the power of conscious narrative selection. You get to decide which stories about yourself you keep repeating and which ones you retire. You get to decide which aspects of your identity you carry forward and which ones you release. This isn't denial. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This is conscious evolution. This is you exercising your power as the observer in your own quantum field. Start paying attention to the stories you tell about yourself, even in your own mind. When you catch yourself thinking or saying, "I'm the kind of person who always," or "I've never been able to," or "I'm just not good at," stop. Recognize that as an old program, an old identity. Then consciously choose a new story. "I'm learning to," or "I'm becoming someone who," or "I'm developing the capacity to." What's one old story about yourself that you're ready to release? Share it in the comments if you feel called to let it go publicly. There's power in declaring your freedom from old narratives. This shift in language might seem small, but it's massive in the quantum field. It moves you from fixed identity to evolving identity, from limitation to possibility, from stuck to becoming. And that shift in perspective creates a shift in frequency, which creates a shift in reality. Now let me address something that's probably been on your mind this entire video. You might be thinking, this all sounds beautiful, but how do I know it's working when I can't see results yet? How do I know I'm not just deluding myself? This is a valid question, and it deserves a real answer. The truth is, you will experience results before you see results. Let me explain. Results manifest first in the invisible realm before they materialize in the visible realm first. You'll notice internal shifts. You'll feel lighter even though circumstances haven't changed. You'll feel more peaceful even though challenges still exist. You'll feel more certain even though you don't have evidence yet. These internal shifts are results. They're proof that your frequency is changing. Then you'll start noticing synchronicities. Meaningful coincidences that seem to confirm you're on the right path. You'll think of someone and they'll text you. You'll need information and it'll appear unexpectedly. You'll have a question and the answer will show up in a random conversation. These aren't accidents. These are the quantum field responding to your new frequency. These are breadcrumbs letting you know you're headed in the right direction. Then you'll notice changes in your external circumstances, but they'll be subtle at first. Small improvements, minor shifts, doors opening slightly, opportunities appearing that weren't there before. Don't dismiss these as insignificant. These are the leading edge of your manifestation. These are the first physical evidence that your frequency shift is materializing. And then, often when you least expect it, the major breakthrough happens. The thing you've been working toward manifests in a way that feels both completely natural and absolutely miraculous natural, because by that point, you've embodied the frequency so fully that it feels like it could only be this way. Miraculous because when you look back at where you started, you can see the quantum leap that just occurred. This is the progression. Internal shift, synchronicities, subtle external changes, major manifestation. If you're experiencing any of these stages, you're not deluding yourself. You're in the process. Trust it. Honor it. Keep going. There's one more thing I need to share with you before we close, and it's perhaps the most important piece of all. Throughout this entire journey, throughout this entire liminal space, you have been developing something more valuable than any external achievement. You've been developing your relationship with yourself. Think about it. This journey has required you to trust yourself when everyone else doubted. It's required you to believe in yourself when the evidence said otherwise. It's required you to honor your inner knowing over external validation. It's required you to stay committed to yourself, even when it was uncomfortable, even when it was lonely, even when it was terrifying. You've been learning that you can count on yourself, that you won't abandon yourself, that you're willing to bet on yourself even when the odds seem impossible. This self-trust, this self-loyalty, this unshakable relationship with your own soul, this is the real treasure of the liminal space. This is what makes everything else possible. Because once you know in your bones that you'll never betray yourself, once you know that you're your own most reliable ally, once you know that you can trust your own inner guidance above all external noise, you become unstoppable. Not because you never face challenges, but because you know you have your own back no matter what. This is sovereignty. This is power. This is freedom. And it can only be forged in the fire of the liminal space. In those moments when you had nothing to hold on to, Accept your faith in yourself every time you chose yourself. Every time you honored your path, despite pressure to abandon it. Every time you trusted your inner voice, you were building this unshakable foundation. And here's the beautiful truth. Once you have this relationship with yourself, once you've developed this level of self-trust, you'll realize that the external manifestations, while wonderful, were never the real goal. They were just the excuse to go on this journey of becoming who you're capable of being. They were the reason you entered the fire, so you could be forged into gold. If this transmission is shifting something in you, consider returning to this video tomorrow morning, or sharing it with someone who's walking through their own liminal space right now. When you share these quantum principles, you're not just helping them. You're reinforcing your own frequency alignment, creating energetic ripples that accelerate both your manifestations and theirs. Every time you help stabilize someone else's frequency, you strengthen the entire field we're all connected to. Continue walking. You don't need to sprint. You don't even need grace. You can stumble, crawl, or weep along the way. Just don't stop moving. Trust that the path is forming beneath your feet as you walk. The quantum field responds to motion. It cannot move something stationary. It can only guide something already in movement. You're not lost. You're not there yet. And not there yet is sacred ground. It's where heroes are forged. It's where you prove to yourself the magnitude of your power. Right now, you're becoming something. Honor it. Give it the time it requires because you're being supported. This message reached you during your darkest hour. Soon, you won't need this video anymore. Before long, you'll be the one reassuring someone else stuck in the liminal space that it's worth it, because it is. You deserve this. Go now and leave your declaration. Solidify your position in this timeline. I am still walking. I'll see you in the clearing. If this transmission brought you relief today, click the like button before you leave. It's a simple digital gesture that sends a quantum affirmation to the universe, signaling that you're ready for more clarity like this. Now, if you've been feeling disconnected from the people around you, if familiar relationships suddenly feel misaligned, that's not random. It's actually a sign that your frequency has elevated and you're being prepared for a new level of connection. I walk you through exactly what's happening energetically when you start losing interest in everyone, and why this isolation phase is sacred preparation for quantum alignment. That transmission is ready for you now.